to spin the block with the homie. Ray Give TV, the hardest working clubhouse YouTuber in the game. Hey, yo, Ray, let's get to the content.
It's coming in right now. I see y'all. Click on the link at the top.
You make sure I'm right.
The content is over there. YouTube. Let's get it.
Pooh Shiestys.
Everybody, yeah. Sorry we're not letting nobody else up on stage.
There's a statement in this document that says, in this case, there was a very strong factual proffer
that's coming in the
made
room,
by the government.
Click on that link at the top.
In the world of the streets, when they hear proffer, automatically assume cooperation. And I'm going to tell you why. If one goes to Google and puts in government factual proffer, the verbiage of that is a government factual proffer is a meeting between a criminal defendant or witness and the government where the defendant shares information with the government in exchange for limited immunity, right? Now, in the world of YouTube land and the world of the streets, Napoleon, for all of y'all don't know, Napoleon is Pooh Shiestys' actual legal attorney that handled this case. So he has more in-depth paperwork, more in-depth information than what I consider to be shallow, right? The words I read in the document I got from Pooh Shiestys' father, and then the definition I just gave you is a simple Google definition. Didn't come from legal, didn't come from anything like that, a DOJ, nothing like that. Now, Napoleon, can you, the first thing I read, I want you to authenticate, right, that is a line in Pooh's document. In this case, there was a very strong factual proffer made by the government.
That's not a line in any document that I've seen. Okay, so what you're talking about is
hold on,
that...
let me get this to you, brother, because I got this from his father, right? This document came from his father. So I want to send it to
so
you.
Make sure you let everybody know to click the link at the top to go to StreamYard.
One way or another, I wanted to.
Yep, I was just doing that.
We represent a movement called the Exposers, and we're not here just to expose people on bad shit, but we're here to clear things up. People. So did you see the text I just sent you?
You want to go eat?
Yeah.
Or something?
Okay, that's what I got sent this morning.
My party's not till 1 a.m.
So I really want you to authenticate that is
okay. I'm gonna contact you after this
actual live. Some documents from Pooh Shiestys' case.
Thank you. Click on that link, everybody in the Google. Click on that link. Wack is live right now, exclusive. Click on the YouTube link. Get in the chat.
Okay, so what you're looking at right now is that this is, I don't know if this is a document in his case, but this looks like a legal filing by an attorney. And it just says, in this case, there was a very strong factual proffer made by the government, and the appellant's sworn adoption of this proffer also clearly establishes his guilt of the killing of David Jones. Pooh Shiesty wasn't on trial for the killing of David Jones, so I don't know specifically where this document came from in the case.
Now, Napoleon, this is why I need his dad here, because when I got a call this morning and woke up, these are the things that was sent to me, right? And I hate to say it, but if this is a document that has nothing to do with Pooh Shiestys' case, now the question is, why did he send this to me? Because even with that verbiage, as you're looking at it, it's not in favor of Pooh. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So let me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Break it down. I want you to break it down to its goal. do your research, because I know you have since went and pulled everything, and let's hear the legal out, right? And then Ghost, we can have a conversation if it's something in there that there's a discrepancy with. We've already established that the form I was sent this morning from Pooh's dad is not Pooh's case. Is that right, Mr. Napoleon?
Everybody.
That's correct. So let me actually read you the factual proffer that was used in the case. It says that the United States of America and the defendant's counsel agree that had this case gone to trial, the United States would have proven the following facts, amongst other, occurred in Miami-Dade County, Southern District of Florida, and elsewhere, beyond a reasonable doubt, and that such facts are sufficient to establish the defendant's guilt to the offenses charged in the indictment. So that is a quote directly from the factual proffer in Pooh Shiestys' case and his co-defendant Bobby Brown's case. Every single defendant in federal court, if they want to plead guilty to the offense charge, they have to sign a factual proffer statement, because the courts require defendants to admit to their guilt if they're pleading guilty.
Okay,
if the defendant will not admit to the factual proffer, the judge will force them to go to trial. So a factual proffer is necessary just to plead guilty in the case.
Okay, so we agree that he signed a factual proffer. We can agree on that.
Of course, just like every other defendant who pleads guilty. Okay,
now here's the thing. You guys see Baby Runner pop in, bring him up. Here's the thing, right? And I know you're on the legal side.
Right.
On the street side and prison side of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before I go further, the proffer, is it sealed? Is it something that nobody can see?
See, now there you go. So you're listening. It's interesting that you use those words.
I'm asking you.
Everybody.
No, I know, but I want to answer that. It's two parts to the question.
Go ahead.
Because the factual proffer, for purposes of a plea, is not sealed. That is a court record. It's a public document. If someone was cooperating with the government and gave a proper statement to the government, that document would be sealed and it's not a public record.
I'm glad you said that, because what I'm getting to is when we see safety valve or we see proffer, right?
Right.
The reason why they automatically find you guilty in the courts of the political aspects of the streets and prison is because we can't see what you said.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you just gave me two examples of.
If you're just joining the room, click the link at the top and join us on YouTube.
That proffer,
if you are just joining the room, click the link at the top and join us on YouTube.
Be sealed.
Correct.
Okay. This type of proffer that Pooh Shiestys signed to, which you're saying your client just signed to admitting to his crime only, right?
Right, correct.
It's available.
That's available as a public record, just like every other defendant who actually pleads guilty to a particular offense, gives a factual proffer, and takes a plea. That is a public record, and you can actually see what's written in the factual proffer. I want to correct something too. So there is a safety valve, and this is something too,
stop right now.
Go ahead.
Are you saying, because a lot of people, we gotta know, we understand it, my panel understands it, but we got a lot of people in the chat. So you're saying Pooh Shiestys does have a safety valve?
No, I'm not saying that Pooh Shiestys has a safety valve. I was just about to correct your contention that if a person cooperated with the government, that's the only way you can get safety valve. People can get safety valve without cooperating with the government. Like, for example, if you're a first-time offender and you don't have the requisite criminal history points, you can get safety valve just because you don't have a criminal history. So
let me add to that. Mm-hmm. There's 5 stages, and I learned this from my guy, Baby Runner. There's 5 points to a safety valve. A, that you do not have a prior criminal record. Mm-hmm. B, you're not head of the criminal organization.
Correct.
C, there was no violence in the crime. Mm-hmm. D, you took your plea in a timely manner.
Correct.
And E, the 5th one is you cooperated with the government. Those are the 5 elements.
Right. So
by the book.
No, that's not accurate. There are plenty of people who did not cooperate with the government that are still eligible for a safety valve. So you can get a safety valve as a first-time offenders. As a matter of fact, a lot of people get safety valve for certain type of cases where it's not related to violent crimes or drugs or things like that. It's inaccurate to say that somebody got a safety valve and that means that they cooperated with the government. All that means is that...
Go ahead. We can't see what statement, and if you can you pull the document that I know you have on Pooh to show that, unlike others being sealed, Pooh's statement his statement on himself is actually available, because I'm sure you would have it, right?
Yeah, so it's on the Clerk of Court's website. I don't know if I can publicly put it on a platform because
you have a docket number.
Yeah, I do have the docket entry number.
Give the people the docket number. That'll be fight for it.
And I want to make something clear too. Every single defendant in this case signed the same factual proffer. Okay,
we get that.
Huh?
We get that, but it's been cases where every single defendant signed a proffer and all of them told too. So, and we're not concerned with the other ones. We just concerned personally with he's the name, he's the one that whatever. So if you can give us that docket number, where to find it, right? That will really help everybody. So when this comes up, people can go read for themselves that Pooh's information, unlike others, right, is available. Like Bleu Davinci, he did a safety valve, but
he did not get safety valve. I want to be clear about that.
No, Bleu Davinci got a safety valve.
Oh, Bleu Davinci, I'm sorry. I was trying to type in
when we go to look for the statement, is not available, right? So we do know Pooh Shiestys did not have a safety valve. He just has this stage of a proffer, but his proffer is available for people to see what he actually signed and what statement he gave. And the statement he gave was him admitting guilt for his personal crime, correct?
Exactly, that's correct.
Okay, so if you can give the people like a docket number and a location that you find it, that would definitely help us.
Give me 30 seconds, I'll tell you right now.
Gotcha.
Hey, Ghost, you looked it up?
Just joining in. Hit the link.
Where's Ghost at? Ghost here?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Did you look it up?
Ghost, you following what
Mr. Give us the website right now.
Yeah, I hear exactly what he's saying. I'm following.
Okay. All right.
And I want to go one further for y'all too, by the way.
Well, that's what we here for, brother.
In this particular case, there is a transcript of the sentencing hearing, okay? So at sentencing, I can guarantee you this, that had Pooh Shiestys cooperated with the government, he will be jumping up and down about how he helped the government and all these things, and all that would be in the record of the sentencing transcript when he got sentenced to prison. But none of that is there. None of it is about him telling on somebody else. None of it is about him cooperating with the government. I was at all of the hearings, and I am telling you for a fact, nobody in this case cooperated. Shiesty didn't cooperate. His co-defendants didn't cooperate. Nobody cooperated. I'll send you the transcript of the sentencing hearing, and I don't know. I hear a backdrop. I don't know if that's me or somebody else.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll give the docket entry number for the sentencing transcript too, just in case anybody's interested in reading it. Because I'm telling you right now, there's nothing in there whatsoever. It's like, oh yeah, we cooperated with the government, so therefore we're eligible for, as you put it, the safety valve, and therefore we should get a lighter sentence.
Well, let me clear that up.
Right.
Nowhere in Pooh Shiestys' paperwork did we see phrase or term safety valve. Right? Let's clear that up. What we did see was, let me make sure I'm dead on spot with this terminology, and this would spark the interest of everybody. What we did see was a government factual proffer, and that's what you're clearing up, what that really means. And the government factual proffer in Pooh Shiestys' situation, unlike other proffers, is available public record where you can actually see everything that was said and everything that was agreed upon and signed off by Pooh Shiestys. Am I correct?
That's correct.
There we have it. So, he's going to provide the docket number and the location to everybody down in the Goon, to everybody out here in blogger land, YouTube land. So that way, when this young man come home, right, he can jumpstart, get back to his career, his family, his loved ones, and he don't have to deal with this. We're here to either show that he did wrong or show that he did nothing wrong. So his attorney is here, Mr. Napoleon. That is his attorney that saw through the whole case, and he's providing the actual docket numbers. He's providing the location where you can go see this form of Pooh Shiestys proffer. And what he's stating is that Pooh Shiestys only gave information admitting to his guilt on this particular crime, not involving anybody else. Am I right, Mr. Napoleon?
Correct. And I just want to make sure that something is clear too. So what it actually says is that the United States, the defendant and defendant's counsel agree that had this case gone to trial, the United States would have been able to prove the following facts that are sufficient to establish the defendant's guilt to the offenses charged in the indictment. So I just want to make sure that this is not a statement that anyone gave to the government. Nobody in this case, none of the defendants, sat down and talked to the government. This document was prepared by the government, that was reviewed by counsel, all of us, and we agreed, all of the defendants, that this is the factual proffer for everybody. So it begs the question, who did he snitch on if everybody signed this same factual proffer? Everybody has the same one. Everybody
I got a question. So did he tell on another case? Because why would the daddy send Wack 100 some other paperwork?
That has nothing. I can tell you right now. Listen, there were a lot of cases or a lot of incidents that the government was trying to link him to. Okay, this has nothing. The only conviction that he has is in this particular case. There are no other cases. I don't know why he would send this particular document. I don't know if he sent that as an example to show what a factual proffer is.
No, but sweetie, he's saying that because of he basically saying he snitched to get a lower time or cooperate with the case that you're proving right now.
No,
right.
He sent it. Let me make sure, because I was the one on the phone with him. He sent it because we were using the terminology proffer, right? Napoleon.
Right.
And he was like, no, it was a government factual proffer, meaning this was the information that the government gathered, right, and presented. So when they went and defined government factual proffer, the definition of the government factual proffer said something totally different, right? So at that point is when he got you on the phone, right? So I said, you know what? Let's just clear it up. You can put all the documents. And have you found the
I have. So the factual proffer was given on January 4th of 2022. It's docket entry number 154.
Okay, and where could the people find that?
Well, you have to have access to the federal court's online system. So anyone who has a lawyer that is licensed to practice in federal court can pull that up.
Well, can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
Since your purpose is here to clear up, right, this misconception of what this type of proffer is, will you be willing to provide the documents so we can just let people notice what it is?
Right. So like I told you before, I have to be careful about what I can and cannot provide, especially from the government's database. But I'll tell you this, we ordered the sentencing hearing transcripts. We paid for that out of our own money. Okay. So I can provide you with the sentencing hearing transcripts where you can see for yourself.
But sweetie, you have to understand, you have to provide every single thing.
No,
so
what
how can we go on record and saying that he did not tell if we only could give half of it? We need the full thing.
Why don't you do this? Turn off the live. I'll show it to you. I just don't want me putting it on the live.
No, listen.
Go ahead.
This is me, right? I'm asking you, right?
Right.
The document that Pooh Shiestys gave the factual proffer on about his involvement only.
Correct.
Right? Being clear. Right? Could you provide me with that document? Right, me personally, so I can, it doesn't have to be right now, it could be after we're done, because what I'm saying is, if it's in favor of Pooh, then I don't think that should be a problem.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
No, of course.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so we'll handle that.
And I'm telling you, I will one up you. I will give you the full sentencing transcript where you can see for yourself. I'm on there, Sam Zangane's on there, Brad Cohen is on there. We were a team together that represented these individuals. Nobody is going to say that they should have received a lower sentence because they cooperated with the government. This is
did he get the mandatory minimum, or did he get below?
So the government was basically trying to make this into a Hobbs Act robbery. They wanted him to go to jail for 20 years. So what we did is we flew to Memphis. We went to all these other places to make sure that we understood all the different cases, all the different events that they were trying to tie them to. And so we did our homework, we did our due diligence, and we got a very, very good result for all of the individuals who were involved. They tried to throw the book at him. If you look at his indictment, and if you look at the counts of the indictment, and if you look at some of the other things that the government filed and what they were trying to give him, it's telling, okay? It's very telling.
So Napoleon, what I'm asking, right, is this, for what you guys end up, what his charges, his bottom line charges were, right?
Right.
Did he get below his mandatory minimum, or did he get mandatory minimum and above? Like what was
there
the
was
mandatory minimum?
There was no mandatory minimum. The way that it happened is that he pled guilty to one specific count in the indictment that did not have a minimum mandatory sentence. So therefore, the federal sentencing guidelines kick in, and you get to argue about what the guideline range should be.
Well,
okay?
Yeah. What range did he fall into? Don't mind me asking.
Well, what the government suggested or what we suggested?
No,
what did he get?
Did
he get less time than everybody on the case?
No. So what I'm asking you, Napoleon, is usually they'll say, okay, mandatory minimum 60 months, and it can range up to 98 months. I'm just giving a,
right.
Example,
what you're talking about is the guideline range.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So if you give me 1 second, I'm going to explain the charge that he pled guilty to and what the government suggested the guideline range should be, and then what we ultimately proved the guideline range was. And it's going to be important so that I can explain the distinction to you.
Okay, great.
So just give me 1 second. Let me pull it up.
No problem. Go. Did Baby Runner come in here?
I see him.
Okay. And to Big Bank Hank, Wack looking crazy because the lawyer's shooting down every point he's trying to make. Wack's not trying to make any points. Wack is asking the questions that the people are asking because I have legal here that can clear up more than just a blogger or some guy sitting at the corner store. So that's what Wack's asking. So that way we can cover it A to Z and leave no stone unturned. That way when we leave this situation, that young man come home, whatever the outcome is of the answers and the documents provided is what it is. That's my stance in this whole situation.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm scrolling down because there was a lot of documents that were filed in this case. And we had to combat a lot of information. So I'm scrolling to try to get to the right portion. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, so to anybody watching, like Wack said, we're here to just get the truth, whether it be to help someone or not. It ain't biased. It's not against nobody. We actually got his family and his team here. So we just want the truth. That's it.
That way, everybody in the world that's speaking a lie, they can come back to this link and they can hear the truth. And pretty sure whatever question or whatever somebody's saying, the attorney, Mr. Napoleon, he would have been asked that question and you would have heard him answer it and then give direction on where you can go look for it, look at it yourself. That's all it's about.
So let me explain to you how everything worked. So there was a superseding indictment that charged him with several different counts, and everybody with several different counts. Hobbs Act robbery, conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery, and all these other things. We were going to trial. We were preparing for trial. We flew to Memphis. We flew to all these different places because the government was trying to get us to plead to something that we just were not going to do. They were 22 years old around that age at the time, and spending 20 years of your life in jail just didn't make any sense. So as a compromise, the government offered everybody in this case to plead to one count of conspiracy to possess firearms in furtherance of a violent and drug trafficking crime. Okay, so that's what they actually pled guilty to. Now, that particular portion of the United States Code or that particular crime does not have a specific offense level. Okay, so what does that mean? You have to look at the facts and the circumstances of the case to determine what the guideline range should be. The government was trying to hold Bobby Brown, Pooh Shiesty, and everybody else to the firearms conspiracy charge in furtherance of an attempted murder. All right. The government was trying to say that the applicable guideline range should be 97 months. Now, again, there's no minimum mandatory penalty, but they were saying that the guideline range should be 97 months. We argued that it was not a robbery. This, at best, was an aggravated assault. And we said that the guideline range should have a lower offense level based on the fact that this is an aggravated assault. If you look at the sentencing hearing transcripts, the judge ultimately agreed with us after looking at the video that this was not a robbery. This was an aggravated assault. So therefore, the guideline range substantially decreased down to approximately 46 months, and that's what the judge sentenced them to. The government was asking for a whole lot in the beginning. They changed their position, dropped down, and then the judge still ultimately agreed with us that the guideline range should be lower than what the government was suggesting, because you got to get you a paid lawyer, and that's what happens when you do.
So at the end of the day, in 97 months, after you guys argued what certain charges shouldn't be, what did it come down to?
To the 46 months. Actually, Pooh's was a little bit higher because he had two offenses that were on camera, and the judge found that it was a aggravated assault for the incident in Bay Harbor Islands, and then also the one that was in the Gentlemen's Club.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember both. I'm definitely the Gentlemen's Club. The Gentlemen's Club was a firearm situation, correct?
Correct.
And the Harbor one was allegedly a robbery, and I think they used some type of video or picture to identify the serial number on the money, right? Am I right?
Yeah, so Pooh left $40,000 behind, and that's what we argued. We said, Judge, if this was a robbery, why would he leave $40,000 and priceless music that he actually had in his bag that he recorded behind? This clearly was a situation that got out of control. And the reality of it is that the people who he supposedly robbed actually had firearms on them. A shot went off, nobody knows what happened, and then bullets started flying. So we said, Judge, this wasn't a robbery. Who goes to a robbery in a green McLaren with $40,000 in priceless music in your bag and rob somebody over some gym shoes and some weed? That's stupid.
Without a shiesty mask.
Right, exactly.
Without a shiesty mask.
Right. Without a shiesty mask, that's dumb. Like that's just stupid. So, and the judge, as conservative as he is, actually agreed with us. He said this isn't a robbery, and so that's why he sentenced him to the lower guideline range.
So he got sentenced to the lower guideline range, but in this situation case, to make sure I'm hearing it right, there was not a mandatory minimum. Us was 46. The minimum.
No, there was no minimum mandatory penalty. The judge could have went below the guideline range if he wanted to. He just chose not to, because most of the time judges sentence within the guideline range. But there was no departure, or he didn't get he didn't get some type of special treatment for cooperation. It's nowhere in the sentencing transcripts. It did not happen.
So everybody that's just pulling up, Mr. Napoleon is Pooh Shiestys legal. We got Loose Cannon 600. Ghost, the exposures on deck on the panel. We're here to clear up the governmental proffer that's stated and stipulated in Pooh Shiestys' paperwork. The attorney is showing us, giving us guidance to where we can go find his paperwork. He's going to send it to me to where we can actually see what Pooh Shiesty signed for, what he agreed to, which was anything and everything that has something to do with his involvement in these two crimes. One being the gun situation at a club, another being attempted robbery or shooting at another location, right? So he's providing and showing us that that's not a sealed document, that is in fact available for the public. He's offering to send that as well as other documents to me, which I will provide, and to show that this type of proffer did not involve him giving information on everybody else. It was simply him pleading out to what he was going to plead guilty to. Am I on point?
You are on point with that. I just want to add one little caveat to that. There may be other people's names like Bobby Brown and Jaden DeRosa that was in there, and it had information that they had to put that in there for the link to this quote unquote conspiracy. But remember, everybody signed the same.
Right there.
Go ahead.
Did Pooh Shiesty, did he collaborate things about these people's names?
No, he never.
I'm asking you the question. Right. Say these things. I know what they're thinking, so I got to clear them up as we go. Right.
Okay, so let me be crystal clear. Nobody, Pooh Shiesty, Bobby Brown, or Jaden DeRosa sat down with the government. Nobody. Okay, the government gave everybody basically the same factual proffer statement. Okay. And what I mean by that, the factual proffer that every defendant has to take so that they are eligible to plead guilty to a crime. Okay? So the proffer statement that I'm talking about is a public record that he needed to sign so that he could plead guilty. If he didn't sign it, he couldn't plead guilty, and he would basically be forced to go to trial. So what I'm explaining to you is that when you see people's names in there, you're going to see the only other names you're going to see are the people that were pleading guilty with him. So everybody pled guilty, and everybody got the same factual proffer. And those three people who was his co-conspirators, that was their name, but they were sitting right next to him when they all signed it together. So it's not like they told on somebody. They all agreed that this is what happened, and they were all there together at that particular point in time. You're muted.
So when you say that they all agreed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me that each individual only agreed to what they did? None of these individuals, especially Pooh Shiesty, collaborated to governments or law enforcement charges against anyone else other than himself.
What I'm telling you is that's correct. But it's even more important to point out the fact that he didn't agree to anything. He just agreed that if we were to go to trial, it's essentially saying that's what the government is saying that they're going to prove. Okay? That's what it is.
600, you got some questions?
Not so many questions. I think this kind of like sums up a little bit. I do want to give a shout out to Pooh because months back he posted a picture of him and some guys, and he put a rat over somebody. And for his age group and his era, I thought that was a big step because a lot of dudes in that era don't really speak like that or actually show that stuff on social media. So I gave him a shout out for that. All this stuff has been a lot of speculation for me. I never really saw nothing too concrete, but I'm glad that we got his lawyer to kind of like, you know, give us some closure, even without those documents.
Right.
You know, I think it's a better understanding, you know, for him and his fans to see that. I think from what came from this is that he just basically spoke up for himself.
Right.
Pled guilty for himself.
Right.
To get it out the way.
That's exactly.
If no one else is implicated in it, and what he said, you know, I think he'd be okay if he cares about being a victim.
Listen, what I just found out is that he's in other people's paperwork.
But whose paperwork are you suggesting? Who you saying he's in? Because if we
he's in his co-defendant paperwork. He just said that the time that he was supposed to get, the recommended time is 20 years. Pooh Shiesty only got 4.
No, he said that's what he was facing, and I believe
that was the time. That's the bare minimum.
No, Jaden. Are you talking about Jaden DeRosa?
Yeah, Pooh Shiesty
did not get 20 years.
No, Pooh Shiesty was in his paperwork. His name with a statement. Can you clear that up?
Okay, so and this is what I was trying to explain to you. Okay, if Pooh Shiesty is in Jaden DeRosa's paperwork, that doesn't mean that Pooh Shiesty sat down and talked to somebody. All that means is that Jaden DeRosa, what he's trying to do, Jaden DeRosa is basically trying to say, why did I get sentenced? I think he got sentenced to 8 years when Pooh Shiesty got sentenced to 4 or 5. That's what Jaden DeRosa was doing.
Okay,
I got him in the back.
He's in the paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you saying that?
With a statement.
Yeah. Are you saying that there's a statement where it says whatever Pooh Shiesty's first and last name says, such and such individuals confirms or says this individual? If so, Ghost, is Ghost in here?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Ghost, what is it that Luke, are you seeing any of this, or what is it that you're seeing, so we can clear this up? Or
what I see, and this is what I wanted to ask the attorney is, in that factual proffer, right? When Autumn did that factual proffer, and the statements that's in that factual proffer, where they're admitting each other's names about the crimes that they did or whatever, right? About the crime that they committed, right? When they went for their sentencing to accept that plea, did they have to admit to that stuff and say those people's names as well?
Never. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all.
When the judge read that out, did they have to agree to it or anything like that?
No.
They didn't have to agree to none of those facts. That's what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that the factual proffer that the government put, they gave everybody the same thing. So let's just say, for example,
nobody's name will be in somebody's paperwork, sweetheart. Nobody.
Not your sweetheart, but I'm just telling you, like,
Luke,
I'm letting you know right now that nobody's name will be in somebody's paperwork. And
you don't know what you're talking about. So let me explain to you.
No, that's fact.
Let me finish. Go ahead. Let me tell you facts. So Wacks. This is what it is. Okay. Me, you, and 600. Right. We go and we rob a McDonald's. It's on camera. Okay. They got the camera showing that we all robbed it. Right. And then we like, you know what? We ain't about to go to trial. We just gonna go and we gonna take our plea and we just gonna argue what our sentence should be. The government present me, you, and 600 a piece of paper saying on this particular day, y'all 3 people went there and you agreed that if we went to trial, that's what we would prove, right? And you got a video of it. Is that telling on somebody? Is that having somebody?
Me personally.
Yes.
Yeah, me personally, right? The only thing I'm going to collaborate is what I did. I can look at a video of you and 600, and if they say, is that 600 and that Napoleon? No answer. I'm going to say, that's me and the red hoodie.
So let me ask you a question. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. If 600 is right next to you and he say, yeah, that's me, are you snitching after 600 just said that, yeah, that's me?
I'm not.
Yes. That's the thing.
Yeah, in our world, right? In our world, right? In our world outside of the courts, right? This unorthodox world. Right. If you give a statement on anybody other than yourself, they're gonna call it telling, right? And see, this is where the word proffer comes in, because when we hear proffer, we hear cooperating with the government, right? Now, I think what you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, right? You're trying to say these three individuals, whether speaking through you or the attorney speaking with each other, all agreed to take the plea as structured.
Exactly. Correct.
That's what you're trying to say, right?
Pooh Shiesty pointed the dude out.
What?
And that's fact.
Where is that?
You show me. How about this? I'll put up my legal fees. You put up my legal fees.
The dude
no, listen to me. Listen to me
right now. Dead homie.
I'll put up my legal fees. You put up the money that I got paid. I'm gonna show you all the paperwork, and I want you to show me that.
Show the world the paperwork right now.
Napoleon, what's the?
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Napoleon, what's the legal?
Show the world the paperwork.
What's the legal fees of the documents? Because at this point, right, either this whole situation is gonna be worth something to where we clear it based upon what we can see. Because what you've just said, and I want you to come down a little bit, right, and understand what I'm saying. When they say the word cooperating or snitching, right, they're gonna say when you give any information on anybody other than yourself. And this is why it's a real thin line, right, when it comes down to your codees and all y'all saying, we're gonna all disagree to this, because we got this one individual I'm hearing that got 8 years who's questioning if we're all agreeing to this, then why did I get 8 and he get 4? Right?
Facts.
And I think that's where the discrepancy is at. I understand.
You want to know the answer to that?
No, I understand what you're saying. So my question to you is, was there other attorneys that represent the other two individuals, or did you oversee all?
So I represented me, Brad Cohen, and Sam Zengane represented Pooh Shiesty. Jaden DeRosa did not. He had an appointed attorney. Okay, his attorney did not come out to the places that we went to, and I want to clear something up, because what you're insinuating is that somebody sat down with the government. Nobody sat down with the government.
That's not what he's saying.
Yeah, that's not the point he's making.
Hold on, everybody can't talk at once. Go ahead.
Okay, so look. Okay, so in the room getting questioned, they showed the video and everybody agreed that was them. That's what you're saying, right?
No. See, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Nobody said, when that video was playing in court, nobody was like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's that person. Y'all know it. If y'all saw the video, there were people that were in that video that never got pointed out. Nothing ever got said about them, even though we know who they are. Nobody ever pointed to nobody. Nobody ever said anything.
Why Pooh Shiesty name is in his paperwork then?
Okay, well, why is Pooh Shiesty? What does that mean, that he told him Pooh Shiesty? Is that what you're saying now?
Okay,
the Pooh Shiesty name is in his paperwork.
No. Pooh Shiesty, his name is not in Pooh Shiesty's paperwork, because y'all try to separate separate him from the case.
I don't know what you're. So when you say that Pooh Shiesty's
y'all
name
try
is
to separate Pooh Shiesty from the rest of them.
That's not what happened. I'm telling you, that's not what happened.
That couldn't have been what happened, because you saying if they all see, for that to happen, that debunks what you say happened. You telling me all three of the defendants agreed to the deal that was offered, But
they
all three
agreed to plead guilty.
Okay, but did all three get different citizen or
yes?
No?
Yes.
So one guy got 8, Pooh got 4. What the other guy get?
No, Pooh got 5 and Bobby Brown got 4.
So 4, 5, and 8. Pooh got the mid.
Right.
He's the guy in the middle. Okay, so but you're saying that all 3 Cody's, I'm gonna make sure I'm right, agreed to give statement or sign off on what they all did collectively.
What I'm pretty much, that's how you have to do it. It's not that they all they told on each other. You're sitting in, this is how it works. You got 3 people sitting in a room, okay? Sitting in front of a judge. And then the question is, are you going to agree to plead guilty and
Your man just disrespecting me. Right? Yeah, I did.
That's that. But when he foul, which doesn't have a sound in general, Proffer. And the when he safety valve, who don't got a safety valve, I don't think you cooperating.
What question, bro? And this is what do we define as like that's
cooperating. You give law enforcement on any than yourself.
Okay, but my point, they didn't give
my lawyer what I said. I ain't had no nigga name and nothing. Any crime I ever did, any crime I ever did, shit, don't look. You do my from the co-defendant.
So the police says, your document, right? The Pooh Shiestys doc is this name or the other Cody. Pooh Shiestys only to what he did.
the government people to agree to what nobody asked anybody or anything. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying. And Pooh Shiestys fine. Written in that document to him and him alone. Oh. It's right, give to in the document, in that fact sign, it say names. It say all 3 crimes. That's block. It say.
But what's up, so do you remember that you signed take your plea?
Shit, my lawyer can pull this shit up.
Where
y'all want to see that? Did you have proper? Yeah, I did. I only cook by myself. No, listen. All of them asked, did you ever? Did you? I ain't never had to sit down. Never went into none of that. The client questions. I never asked. Okay. The client, you ain't automatically. It ain't mandatory with nobody. I'm gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Wack. You got like 3 more minutes. I'm out the truck. You can first anniversary me. I could have did. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad, right?
Bro.
Because the Napoleon has, so in your document, the only name is your name.
Hey, what's up? We got the document.
Yeah, I got it.
You know what?
You got the document.
See, this is what you gotta.
I put it up, bro.
I know, but look at for you.
Go ahead.
When you get literally coming out the back and you like, I want to try. You saying
No.
My nigga ain't so fine.
I'm not saying anything.
See now, you, I asked Bobby the question. My attorney got to. When I asked you this question, the police got handcuffs. You gonna stop? So I asked them to slow the document down. Document for Bobby Pooh Shiestys. They put their the only not in that document there in the vein.
So, yeah, it's a difference. It's not down to you, Wack. So you got, if me and you come, you know,
I really will know though before you break it.
You got you, cause you like we co-defendants going to the Fed. So the medic gonna be in my shit. Curse 2. Number 3 or whatever, coke how this shit go. But when factual proffer, it sounds like, alright, what did you do? Single. My crime stays singly. By me. You know what I'm saying?
God, you only
so this shit I don't care. You got rest. You want the nigga? Yeah, this man right here. This man right here. Then
break it down. Just say the police correct.
Hey, fuck that. You
hold on. Slow
you read this, champ. Bro,
slow down. Slow down.
Read this,
You do, bro. Listen, Bobby. Look, the overall doc have everybody involved. Document you no, listen to me. Homie, let me speak. Document everybody involved, but what broke down on it.
You ain't do your nigga.
I give clarity to it.
Come on, man. Before you ever went to the mall.
Hey, look, what I know trying to say. No, we got the president.
You got site paperwork with my name in.
Paperwork, right?
You got work with my name. You got site paperwork with my
Goin.
Yeah, you want it?
Going up the way, but
so listen.
Hold on.
I'm saying it's gonna have it, but the one thing out with the
documents is that this is what is intending. If they were, that's what the documents were, the government allegations. That's what y'all.
No, I didn't hear you. Never went to trial signed, right?
The document basically the government believes true. That's what it says.
That was the doc. That's what he said.
Listen, man, I didn't say what I already said. Listen, let me say something, and I shouldn't even be honest with y'all 100. We are stupid as a these like all together, like we can't even we did to not millions of people,
this is why you heard me that if 3 people or something, right? Agree to this, right? This is why I revisit this shit, because as of now, is that damn stupid.
That's crazy, bro.
I know it's reality. But I'm glad Bobby, because I won't bob it up that they all agree to take their deal.
Let me clear what you.
I gave you 5 minutes past time. Now you got to negotiate with me. Anniversary.
Okay.
If this is the anniversary, you know what I'm saying? They said you got to come with, you know what I'm saying? 10,000. I need,
bro, I hit you up. So, you know,
you ain't got no you a little time reach down to
Shout out to Wack 100. Man, the content was contented. What do y'all think? Pooh Shiestys tell or what? Like, they agreed to, you know, give up information on what they did as individuals. But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate the support, everybody tuning in. Keep that notification bell turned on. The content is contenting for sure. Let's go. Peace.